So good morning to one and all present here. I'm Dr. Ashakti. On behalf of the Department of Commerce, I welcome you all for the one-week virtual international faculty development program on global research pathways, preparing for post-doctoral fellowships and research publication. So today is day 5. We have Dr. Junaida Binti Yusuf ma'am. To tell about ma'am is a senior lecturer at University Technology Malaysia with an extensive academic research and administrative experience in psychology, organizational behavior, and human resource development. She has actively contributed to international and national research collaborations, scholarly publications, curriculum development, postgraduate supervision, and academic leadership. Ma'am has also served as the principal investigator and research member for multiple international, national, and UTM funded research grants. She has also published various research articles in with the high impact factor journals. And then uh, uh, Ma'am is also expertised in psychology of adjustment, consumer psychology, social psychology, leadership, research methodology, and um, statistics for social sciences. Ma'am has served as the head of Faculty of Publication Cluster FSH, research group leader, industrial work and organizational psychology, active contributor to international conferences, academic workshops, curriculum reviews, community engagement programs. She has also received Best Paper Awards in International Conference in Psychology, multiple gold, silver, and bronze awards in New Academia Learning Innovation Competitions, Excellent Service Awards, and Award for Indexed Journal Publications, UTM and FSH, Best Researcher Award for Faculty of Science and Humanities. We welcome you, ma'am. The session is over to you.
All right, thank you. Good morning and a very good day to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank two SRM Institutes of Science and Technology in India, Dr. Punita, Dr. Sati, and the team for having me today. So it's a truly an honor to be here with such a vibrant academic community. So let me briefly introduce myself. Even Dr. Sakti just now just introduced me. So my name is Dr. Junaida Yusof from the Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, University Technology Malaysia. So today I will sharing on the exploring postdoctoral fellowships and fundings agencies with a special lens on how you, especially researchers in India, can strategically position yourself in the global research ecosystem. Just now, I'm having a small chat with Dr. Sakti, and I have been informed that the audience today is comprises from the various levels, including from the undergraduates and also the postgraduate students. So for those postgraduate students, what I'm going to share today is not theoretical, but it is something that you have and you can add on immediately. Okay. So next, Dr. Sati. Okay, by the end of this session, you should be able to strengthen your research publication strategies and then explore the postdoctoral opportunities globally and also identify the key funding agencies and also its mechanism. Okay, but more importantly, this session is actually about the mindset shift. Okay, this is not just about getting funding, but it's about positioning your academic career strategically, okay, from time to time. So for example, let's say we have a two PhD graduates may have the same qualification, which is the PhD, but one gets in the international postdoc offers and the others is maybe struggling. Why the others is struggling? It might be because of the plans itself is not strategically planned from the early career, and also the other one who did not get the postdoc position maybe just wait passively without any strategies. Okay, so next, Doctor. All right. Why postdoc is matter? Many people think postdoc is just a continued research after PhD, but it is actually it's a transition. This is what we call as the transition phase. During your PhD, is it something that you are guided? from your supervisor tells you what to read, what to do, what method to use, and what you have to write in your articles or in your thesis, for example. But during the postdoc itself, you are expected to propose the ideas by yourself. So meaning to say that you have to know the current issues in your field and then propose the ideas in order to solve it, for example, and you have to lead the project. And at the same time, some of the project might be you are not alone, but you become the principal investigator and you have your own team that you have to manage, all right? So it is actually from the students, which is the independent researcher, you build to the international network and then improve the publications quality. When we talk about the publication, um, nowadays the world's indicators for the publication quality is about the Scopus and also the WOS or Web of Science indexing. So you have to do that and also to increase the mobility and also the promotion of the chances itself. Let's say we have two candidates to apply for the lecturer position. All right. So candidate A only have a PhD, while candidate B have the PhD plus the postdoc plus the international collaboration, meaning that they have the experience on the joint publication with the internationally. So who do you think that stand out? Of course, the candidate B. All right. So think of the postdoc as your launchpad, not your extension. So your PhD prove that you can do the research, but your postdoc prove you can lead that research. Okay. So next. All right, from this point, about the global research pathway, let us zoom out and look at the bigger picture of the global research pathway itself. For example, as I mentioned before, the academic pathway now normally is from the PhD, and then you're doing your postdoc, and then you become a senior researcher, and then you will get your professorship, which is the full professor. But today, not everyone stays in the academic. For example, even that person have the PhD, but some move into the industry research, for example, to become the data science, the behavioral insights, do some of the policies, become the think tankers for the governments, and also become the advisory roles. They also have the international organization. They are working with the UN, for example. They're working with the World Bank project. So you have to have a mind that to have a PhD is not just about to be the lecturers or the academician. You can go beyond that, as I said, about the industry, policy, and also to become the join the international organization. So it's more than that. So imagine that you specialize in the community development or the business management, for example, you could work with the NGOs, with the government's policy units, or even the global agencies. The key is the strategic positioning early, meaning that you have to know and strategically plan what you are going to do from the early beginning. This is what we call as the early career lah, okay? And you have to ask yourself about where do I want to be, for example, in 5 to 10 years? Is that in the academy or to become the academia, in industry to become a policy makers, for example, because your postdoc choice should align with that vision. All right. So next, doctor. Okay. About the types of the postdoctoral fellowship, not all the postdoc are the same. Okay, and this is where the many people make a mistake about this. I give some of the analogy where you have to think that the postdoc has a different entry doors. Entry doors meaning that is a different types of the postdoctoral fellowships. All right. For example, normally there is a 4 types lah of the postdoc. Maybe they have more, but this is normally. But we have. Right, the first one is about fully funded. Okay, so is fully funded, meaning that you get the salary, you get the research grant, you can have the travel support, meaning that they will sponsor you. This is obviously the best option that you can have, but it's a very competitive. You have to be competitive around the world to get this fully funded postdoc. And then the second type is the project based. For example, you join a principal investigator project, meaning that there is a professor already has been or has a funded grant and needs a researcher, and then you will fit into their project. You are working with that principal investigator. So this is also good because it gives you experience, good for the gaining experience itself, all right? And then the third one is about the self initiated. This one you design your own research idea, what kind of the things that you want to do. So it's a very high independence, but it requires a strong proposal skills lah. Because you are working independently. And the last one is about the visiting or the short term. This one normally this one will be if you well known in that area, okay. So they will ask you or they will invite you to become a visiting in the short term, for example 3 to 12 months mobility. Is also a very good for the exposure and also the networking. You know around about the surrounding and you have a good network with that university or that organization, okay. But if you just starting, my advice is you can go for the project based or we call as the fully funded. But if you are confident enough, you can go for the staff initiated fellowship, okay. Right, next doctor. Okay, my next slide will be some of the examples about the how we can explore the global opportunities, but I don't want to overload you, the audience itself. So I will highlight a few that strategically important. For example, we have a flagship or the highly competitive, but this one is the most key chef that I can say lah. This is most the best thing that we can have. Okay, next. All right, for example, we have the Marie Sklodowski's quiz, or we call it as the MSTA. It's a very competitive. It's a strong international mobility. All right, all disciplines is there. This one is just an example. You can suit by yourself based on your courses or your programs itself or your field. Okay, and you have to look at on the some of the there is a some of the criteria that you have to fulfill, but you can have a look on a few that I just suggest to you. So for example, if you go for this one, you can move from the India to Europe and collaborate across the countries. Okay, so this will build you a global academic identity. Right, next. So next we have the Humboldt Fellowship. This one is the basis is in the Germany, so it's focused on the independent research. So you propose your own topic and then you choose your host. Okay, it's a very good because you can choose your host and it's a very strong for building your own research direction. But sometimes they might change the terms and condition year by year. So every time they advertise. So you can have and look at on the terms and condition, right? Next. Okay, next you have the EMBO, but this one is more on the life sciences, okay? But sometimes might be they offer for the data science, data scientist, for example, it's not just about the research, it's also about the leadership training, all right? It support families, this is become the important consideration lah. If can support the family, especially for those already married and have a family, for example, so you can bring along your family, all right? Next. Okay, this one is from the UK's base. Also, I think it's important and also beneficial for the countries like India, for example. Next. Okay, this one we have the British Academy. This is actually, if you can see, the left side is some of the summary of the criteria that I sum up from the website and stuff. And the right side is actually the link. When you click the link, so it will bring you to that web page. All right, next. Next, we have the Newton Fellowship. This one is also the strong UK collaboration lah. So you can do a co-author to become a co-publish with the UK scholars. So when you have the collaboration or join publication with them, So it will give a higher visibility, and also when people can see you, so it become a stronger career profile lah from you to become either the academician, or you want to join the industry, for example, or any NGOs, or become the think takers for the governments, for example. Okay, next. All right, this one we have the elite program. This one I just a quick one. Next. Okay, we have a forest, and also another one. Next. Next. Okay, the Max Planck Institute. This one is a very competitive but life changing. These fellows often become a future leaders lah in academia. Okay. So next. Okay, this is what I mean, the forest research. So sometimes it can cover the housing, the travel. Sometimes if they also accommodate the family itself. If you have a children, you can go. You can send your children's school for free, for example. Okay, next. This one another things. Most of us, not most lah, but some of the applications is the interdisciplinary. Is a good lah. Okay, next. Okay, this is based on the what I can say in the perspective of the India relevance opportunities lah. So now let me brings you the closer to your context in India. For example, next. We have the Azrali International Postdoctoral Fellowship, and also another one after this is TWAF. It's a good entry level for the international exposure, and especially useful for the researcher for the developing countries lah, even like in Malaysia. Right, next. Okay, this one what I mean, TWOF. Okay, next. Okay, this one is in terms of the when we look at on the thematic and or we call it the specialization. Next. Okay, we have the Fulbright Nehru. This one also is very strong US collaboration. Good for the social sciences and education, and also the policy itself. And also in terms of the conceptual insight related to the India, for example, has a strong collaboration lah. When I look at back on the researchers from the India, it is actually India have many researchers that have a strong collaboration with the US, UK, Europe. So I think this is a very good advantage lah for the India citizens is actually. But it's just that don't limit yourself to the local funding. Think globally, but apply strategically. Strategically meaning that you have your aim, and also normally we are not just apply one. Okay, you have to apply many, so many, because we don't know which one that we will get. All right, next. Okay, this is the other opportunities that I list out for the audience today. Right, next. Okay, now let me briefly introduce the postdoctoral opportunity in Malaysia, which is my home country. Next. Okay, for your information, the audience, my lovely audience, in Malaysia, we have around, I can say that around 20 government university. We have also many private universities, but among the government university, from the higher institution, is actually we have the three main cluster. The first one is the research university. The second one is the teaching universities, and we do also the technical university. So meaning that each of the university, they have their own specialization, and they have their own roles. For example, in my university, I'm from the University Technology Malaysia, the maroon one. Okay, so I'm from the research university. So research university, we are highly research incentive and also active in international collaboration. It's not just my university in Malaysia. In total, for the research university, we have 5 research university. The first one is the University Technology Malaysia, and then we have University Kebangsaan Malaysia, University of Malaya, and then the fourth one is the University Science Malaysia, and the last one we have the University Putra Malaysia. Why I highlight about the research universities is actually when we said that that university is belong for the research university. Most of the every year the research university itself will get the budget or the funding from the either it can be from the government itself, from the industry itself, any organization. We fund our project or give us grant to do some of the R&D, to do some of the research, to make some of the policy compared to the other university. I'm not saying that the other university don't get this opportunity. They do have, but because we are clustered on the research university, so we have high chances in terms to get the grants and also the allocation, the money allocation for doing a research. So when we have a high allocation, we can say that we are open more on the postdoctoral fellowship. Okay, so if you might be have a thing to stay in Malaysia for a few years or to do the postdoc in Malaysia, so you can look at on this university, for example. Okay, Malaysia offers a cost. I think it's a cost-effective research environment with a strong publication outputs, and also for us, English as the main academic language lah. So it's a making accessible for the international researcher. In terms of the language, I think we should be no problem. And most of the postdoc position in Malaysia is we can say that university funded, but it's based on the grant and also the allocation, the approval from some of the agency or the government staff. So it's depending. Sometimes we get a lot of the applications. Let's say we have one grant, but we receive a lot of the application for the postdoc, for example. So we only can choose one or two, for example. The maximum is it depends on the grant itself, and then it's also based on the project based under the research grant or part of the international collaboration. But we do have some of the postdoc, they coming here and because they really want to do in that field in Malaysia. Maybe they have the expertise, we have the expertise, and they want to do here, but without any fund. So they have a self funding, come to Malaysia to do the postdoc. Sometimes it's happen, okay. It's belong to the 4 types that I mentioned before. So for the researcher from the India, for example, Malaysia, you can think as a strategic stepping stone to gain the international exposure, to build some of the publication or expand your network before moving to the larger global platform. Sometimes we do have a request from the student, for example, just for those who just finished their PhD, they're looking for the postdoc but still don't have that kind of the opportunity. But the meantime, to get the postdoctoral fellowship here, for example, we already do the collaboration virtually, for example. So we can discuss, we can publish a paper, and then when the time has come, the grant is granted, for example, so you can come to the Malaysia and become the postdoc, for example. It's not just a postdoc. We also do have the academician, our own academician from the international staff, to become a lecturers in our university, for example, where we see that you have the potential, you are good in teaching, you are good in the doing a research, for example, because we are a research university. So you can apply to become our academician in our university. All right. So again, let's come to Malaysia. It can be a smart and also the practical, I think, entry point into the global research ecosystem. Okay. So welcome to Malaysia. Right. Next, Dr. Sati. Okay, this is actually a very quick glance about the poster of the postdoctoral fellowship. I think this one is just an example that we can get from the poster. We can get from the social media, the web page itself. Okay, Dr. Sati, maybe we can go through a bit. Okay, this is the example. Okay, next. Okay, another example. I think there is a lot of the opportunities is actually for the postdoctoral to be to apply it. Okay, next. All this poster is for 2026. Okay, sometimes you have to apply 2026, and then maybe you enroll the end of the 2026 until 2027, for example. Okay, next. Okay, this is in Japan. I think Japan is also good, depending on the field itself. Switzerland, of course. Okay, next. Okay. I do my colleagues itself are going to do a postdoc in the Melbourne in the early September, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Even if we are in academia, we can do the postdoc also in my university. Okay, next. Okay, this is what I mean, the Melbourne. Okay, next. Europe. All right. So I think that what I have discussed just now with the audience just now, I hope that it's become the eyes opening for you guys to plan ahead and to plan strategically what you are going to do to become or to enroll for the postdoc itself, and how you want to make your progression to become either the academia or you want to practice in the organization, for example, to become a think tanker, for example. Okay, but you have to know the key question is, are you ready for the postdoc? So we have to look at on the requirements of the competencies. It's a very it's not very, but sometimes it's hard. Okay, so don't give up. This is some of the requirement that you have to have. It's good if you have, for example, in terms of the publication record. Okay, when we talk about the publication record, nowadays everyone look at on the Web of Science, Q1 or Q2, for example. Okay, let's say we have two applicants. The first one is might be these applicants have a 3 Scopus papers, but the second applicants might be have a one high impact Q1 paper. So if we are the interviewer, so for sure that we will taking the second one, which is the person or the candidate that have the high impact the Q1 paper. Even it's only one compared to the Scopus is 3, but we know that to publish in the Q1, especially the high impact one, okay, it's not easy and it's a very impactful research. So we choose the second lah, because it's become more stronger. Okay, the second one, you have to have a clear niche. Don't be too general. Let's say you study in management, you cannot just say that I'm studying management, but you have to be what is your niche in management. For example, I'm studying management in digital well-being among youth, for example, just an example. Okay, management in what, not just one particular area. All right, and then the third one is about the grant writing skills itself. So this one is actually you have need to practice a lot how to win the grant itself. And then the fourth one is the international exposure lah. As I say, even you are doing a PhD, it is actually you can have the joint publications with the others academia from the others countries internationally, even you are not finished yet. Okay, sometimes in my university, for example, we are welcome to become the examiners, the third examiners or the second examiners, even from the different countries or different universities for the postgraduate students, for example. So it will give a high visibility when you have the joint publication. And it's not just about the joint publication. In order to have the international exposure, you can join the conference, for example. You can join the professional board or association to get the latest info lah. Let's say you have joined one association, so you subscribe on that association, so they will give you a lot of the information. And I think every day I will receive the email from the professional board that I joined to give the opportunity on writing book, for example, to publish a paper, for example, who want to go for the conference. Okay, Nowadays for the conference we do lot of the conference in terms of the visual. Okay, sometimes no need for us to go physically in that country. If we have maybe challenges in terms of the budget, so we can join the virtually. All right, as long as you can have the networking with the other countries is good. All right. And the last one is about the methodological strength lah. This one you have to know your expertise, either quantitative, qualitative, or mixed method. For example, sometimes you can have or you can have both expertise in terms of the quantity and also the qualitative. So publication are your academic currency. Is actually you want or not, it's become the currency in your academic. So you have to publish. Okay. So next. Okay, about the strategy for the high impact publication, this one I think everyone knows about the target of the journal early. You have to make sure when you want to publish, you start with the high rank first. Okay, for example, WRS first. Might be you can try from the Q1 first, and then if they reject, so you can go for the Q2, and then if they reject, and then you can go to for the Q3. But Q3, make sure it's in Scopus. For example, if they still reject, you can go for the Q4, but still indexing in the Scopus, for example. Okay, and then you have to develop the publication pipelines. We know that from the PhD's papers, you can have the postdoc expansion. All right. And then you have to collaborate internationally. This is what I mentioned a lot before this, and focus on the novelty itself. What kind of the things that you can bring in your field, and also in terms of the practical contribution and also the practical implication in your field itself. So if you have this kind of the novelty, everyone will look at on you. You are visible enough, and you can have more collaboration with the others scholars or the others authors. Okay, next. Okay, for the publication roadmap, I think this is a very important. We know that we have the postdoc, before the postdoc, what will happen during postdoc, and also the after the postdoc. So let me simplify your roadmap. For example, before the postdoc, you can convert your thesis to 2 to 3 papers, for example. And even in some of the university, like my university, we can convert your thesis to become the research books. So you have a publication with the books. It's not just about the journals, but also the books itself. We call as the research books. Okay. And then during the postdoc, you have to publish with your supervisors. For example, it's depending what type or what type of the grants that you receive. If you are working with your principal investigator, so you have to publish with your PI lah. Okay. And then join the research group. This one is important. I think most of the country, they practice a lot on more on the collaboration, not just collaboration, but also the discussion in terms of research groups. Okay. And even for us, we have our own research groups, meaning that we are working togetherly, cohesively, together with our research group, and we are helping to each other. For example, if I have the opportunity, I know there is an opportunity from it's not really related to my specific field, for example, but it's related to my other members research group, so I will invite them, for example, or I will pass that opportunity to them. Okay, because we have to work together, and in our life is actually we are not working alone, so we have to have a team and working cohesively together. All right. And the last one is the after postdoc. So you know that after the postdoc, you have your own experience, how to publish, how to lead the research, how to do the research, experts in the methodology that you choose, for example. So after the postdoc, you can lead your own project. So you can become the independent researcher, and it will build the citation profile lah. It's actually, or we call as the H index. Everyone talking about the H index. Okay, if you wait until the postdoc to publish, you're already late. This is actually, you cannot wait. Okay, before you doing the postdoc itself, because you have your thesis, you already done your research, so you have to publish in order to have a good profile when you try to apply for the postdoc position. Okay, so my words is start now lah. If you are postdoc, start now. Even if you are not postdoc, maybe you are in the degree level. Some of the degree levels you have to do the final project, so you can start publish your final project. Convert it to become the articles and publish it. During degree, if you cannot publish into WOS, it's okay. You can start with Scopus, for example. Okay. Okay. Next, Doctor. Okay, remember building the international collaboration. So you have to identify the potential supervisors. Nowadays, we have the internet. We can find so many things, okay, from the other country, from the other worlds, okay. So you have to identify which one the best for you to become the supervisors, and make sure it's have the or align with your research interest, your niche, strong publication record, okay. And then you can engage through conference, for example, email pitching, for example, and also you can have the joint research proposal with that potential supervisors. All right. Next. Okay, how to approach a postdoc supervisor? The sounds is cliche, but this is very important. How to approach? This is where many fail, not because they are not good, but because they don't communicate well. So, for example, if you have the bad email, you just type, "Dear Professor, I want to do a postdoc under you." It's too rogue. We don't know what kind of the thing that you want to do. Okay, you have to there is a better approach lah. I can say is actually you have to have a good email. For example, you have to introduce yourself. Who are you? Where you come from? What your status now? Highlight your research. You can propose your idea. Okay. And also attach together in your email. Make sure you have your own CV, your publication. CV is very important. So normally for the CV, it's different with the resume. Okay, for the CV, normally we make it as very detailed as we can. What kind of the project that you have been conducted before or joined as members, for example, even not lead it. Okay, what kind of the activities, research activities, and then what kind of the publication list that you have. You have to write in details. In resume is okay. Might be in the simplest one. Okay, so and then you have to come up with your own proposal, maybe 2-page proposal. We know that to become the academics, we are very busy. So the clarity is very important. So when you have that kind of the clarity, so you will win our heart. So easy for us lah to look at that, to look at and go through. Is it you are suitable in that position or not? For example, before for the next screening, that one is for the early screening process. And then if you are passed, so you can bring you for the interview, for example. Okay. Next, Doctor. Okay, this is the common challenges lah. Just let's be honest, this journey is not easy. To win the postdoc fellowship grants, it is actually it's not easy. It's just like how we publish. Sometimes there is the first time we be rejected, second time rejected, third time rejected. It's okay, don't give up. We try. Maybe the 10th time, we will get it. Okay. So we have to know it's a very limited fundings awareness about this. Sometimes it has happened, and then sometimes we have to reject because of the weak publication portfolio. Sometimes you do have the publication, but that publication is not tally with the niche that we want, for example. And then in terms of the mentorship is very important. That someone that you can rely on. It's not just about building the capacities in terms of your niche, but also build up your skills, soft skill, hard skills, and also your personal skills, okay, leadership skills, for example. And then the last one is the fear of the rejection lah. This one is normal, as I said. It's okay, just try. As long as you don't give up, okay. If you feel tired, maybe you can pause for a moment, okay, but don't stop and don't quit. Okay, rejection is not a failure. It is something that it is a feedback. It is actually sometimes if you are lucky enough, they will give feedback. why you are not get that position, for example. Okay, so it seems like we do a publication. Sometimes they reject with the some of the comments, so we can beautify our papers based on the comments itself. Even if it's rejected, but still we can try to the others platform. Okay. Okay, next. All right. About the practical action plan. The action plan, if you remember nothing else, remember this one. The first one, you have to identify your niche. As I said, what is your niche? What is your novelty? And then view your publication. You want or not, the publication is very important. And then map your funding agencies. What kind of the things that you want to do? Is it from the NGOs, from the university itself, from the governments? For example, we do some of the government's collaboration between the different governments. They will fund you to become the postdoc in our country to further your postdoc fellowship in that certain country, for example. Okay, and then we have to know the network internationally is very important. That's why I'm saying that try to make it yourself visible internationally, so that it's high chances when they know that you are capable enough, they can suggest your names, for example. Okay, and that but must be capable, and then apply strategically lah. Make sure that you have strategized your plan. As I said, you have to start as early as possible. Successful candidates don't apply once. They apply maybe so many, 5 to 10 times, for example, 20 to 30 times, for example. Okay. All right. Next, doctor. I think it's near to end. Okay, yes. Okay, this one is the key takeaways. Something that what I can end for this session is actually be intentional, not accidental in your research journey. So you have to complete globally, but building a strong profile. You can start from now, even from if you are not postgraduate students, but you have your plan to do your postgraduates, or you to further your postgraduate until the postdoc, for example, before to become or join the academia, to become the academia. So you have to build as early as possible, and remember your publication are your voice to the world. So why we publish? Sometimes people don't want to publish. Why we publish is because that's the contribution us to the society, for example, so that the people can read, and it give a beneficial impact to the societies, and also the others partnership, for example. Okay, and the last one, I think. Next slide, doctor. Dr. Sati. Next slide. Before this, another one. Okay, this one. This is the last line lah from me. Okay, so your research journey is not defined by where you start, but how strategically you move forward. So don't give up. Take a moment to pause if you tired. Okay, but don't quit. All right. So I think that's it from me. Thank you so much for having me again, Dr. Sati. Back to Dr. Sati.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. That was a wonderful presentation. So it will be definitely useful for our academicians as well as the research scholars who are doing their PhDs and who have already done their PhD. So it was an eye-opening session for all the academicians and the research scholars. Uh, Punita, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sati, and also the team for for having me from the faculties and research scholars, right?
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah.
one question from our side. One of the question is kindly guide us to do PDF in collaboration with you.
Okay. If you go to the next slide, the last slide, Dr. Sati. So I have
Yeah.
provide my email address. Maybe you can show the last slide.
Yeah.
Next. That's fine.
Yes.
Okay, if you want to do some of the collaboration with us, it's not just me. It is actually you can contact me if it's not related with my field, so I can channel to my colleagues or to other research group because for example in my university we have several research group that are related to the several field. So I can channel it accordingly. So you can email me, give us some of the maybe input what kind of the things that you want to do. If we have grant, we also can support in terms of the publication, for example, but it's depending on the grant allocation lah. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All
So,
right.
on behalf of yes, ma'am. On behalf of the Department of Commerce, I would like to extend my vote of thanks. So I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our respected resource person for her insightful and informative session for the International Faculty Development Program. I also thank the management, the department, organizing committee, coordinators, the faculty members, and all the other participants from their active involvement and support in making today's session a grand success. Thank you all. We'll have a session tomorrow. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you to SRM. Thank you.